Hello and welcome to the Wright Know Your Money podcast. I'm Ashley Smith.
And I'm Tom Richards.
On the Know Your Money podcast, we talk everything finance, from financial planning tips to how what's going on in the world around you affects the money in your wallet and, most importantly, your financial future.
If this podcast helps you, please like and subscribe so that we can help as many people as possible moving forwards. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing financial planning myths and misconceptions. Many people understand what a professional regulated financial advisor does and the benefits of speaking to one, but at the same time, there are many myths and misconceptions surrounding financial planning, which often put people off getting advice themselves. We wanted to explore some of the most common myths we hear about, the issues, and debunk them one by one so you can be confident that financial planning shouldn't just be something for other people to think about. So, Ashley, can you start things off with one of the most common phrases you hear time and time again from clients who used to not fully understand the benefits of having financial advice?
Yeah, no problem at all, Tom. So the first phrase that we hear time and time again from our clients is, I thought I was capable of managing my own money. Now, many of us are used to looking after our own finances, making decisions about money and not having particularly complex financial arrangements in place that we need to then worry about. But do you really know everything that there is to know? For example, your tax arrangements, your inheritance tax position, your insurance need, is your emergency fund sufficient? Are you saving enough into a pension? And not only do you know all of those areas individually, but how do they all work together and combine into your overall financial plan? After all, every one of those areas in itself can be quite complicated. So there's a good chance that you may be missing the odd bit here and there, and not covering all of your bases and making sure that your money is working hard and correctly to achieve your long-term financial goals. Even if you feel confident that you're on top of every area of your finances, it still wouldn't hurt to get a second opinion. Qualified specialists such as myself or one of the other chartered advisors here at Wright can cast their eye over your arrangements, cast their eye over your financial plans, and potentially suggest options that you may have failed to consider. I mean, what have you got to lose?
That's brilliant, thank you, Ash. Another phrase we hear time and time again is, I'm too young to need financial advice. Can you explain why so many people think this is the case and the actual reality behind that?
Yeah, so it's true that generally, not always the case, but generally younger people have fewer assets, usually a smaller income, especially when they're starting out on their career paths. So it's easy to see why this myth has gained traction over the years. But as we've spoken about in previous podcasts, the magic of compound interest, the sooner that you start to get your finances in order and start to get into good habits, the better off you'll be in the longer run. Wouldn't it be nice to know that as you're approaching sort of retirement or those financial desires, those needs, those wants, that you've done something early enough rather than getting there and thinking, if only I'd done something different. So you can avoid sort of making those costly mistakes in the early years just by having good financial advice and taking advantage of compound interest.
That's fantastic, thank you. Another misconception we hear time and time again is financial advice is only for rich people. Can you explain to our listeners again why this isn't the case?
Yeah, so first point I'll note here is, well, what is a rich person? And many big people, as you've said there, only feel that rich people or the super wealthy need financial advice, but that's not even close to being true. Even people on what would be a modest or an average income, in theory will have the same goals, the same objectives as the so-called richer people in society, and ultimately they usually want to buy their own house, they may want to put their children through school or university, they want to retire with a good retirement income, and a good retirement income to one person will be very different to the next. So again, getting financial advice early can make a world of difference to you and your objectives, not you and someone else's objectives. Yeah. At the same time, it could put you in a much stronger position than some of those wealthy people that don't actually get financial advice. Yeah. It's all well and good that they may have financial sort of power today and they may have financial security today, but if they don't plan properly for that, they may find that money runs out in the future. And then that can be the case for anybody. Once you get to retirement, even if it's a modest income that you require, if you haven't saved up, your money could run out before you do, essentially. So financial advice isn't just for the super wealthy, it is for everybody.
That's brilliant, thank you very much, Ash.
Just whilst we're on that theme as well, sorry to jump in again, Tom, another phrase that we do hear over and over again, which I guess is linked to that, is that financial advice is too expensive. It's often said that advice is expensive, it's prohibitive, but that generally comes from those that have never really sought financial advice, and because they've never sought financial advice, they've never really seen what value it could add. Looking at the facts, in terms of what financial advisors do, how they can add value, yes, okay, the first thing that pops into your mind usually is investment return. Can an advisor outperform a market? But generally speaking, financial advisors add value in other areas: tax planning, inheritance tax planning, making sure you're getting the most out of pension contributions in terms of minimising your personal tax. And just generally the broader financial picture, making sure that your financial plan is on track so that when you get to retirement, you can afford to retire. That advice could be priceless. So how do you put a true cost on what that could be? As always, we'll be happy to discuss any aspects of your financial planning requirements. The best way to do that is to contact one of our chartered financial advisors. You can either visit our website at www.howardwright.co.uk and fill in the inquiry form, or you can call us on 0345 688 4939, and myself or one of the team will be happy to have a conversation with you. Thank you for listening to the Howard Wright Know Your Money podcast. I've been Ashley Smith.
And I've been Tom Richards.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe or share on your socials. And if you're listening to us on Apple Music or Spotify, please drop us a follow and leave us a review.
It really helps other people find the podcast, enabling them to know their money better and build stronger financial futures. Please also check out the Howard Wright link tree for loads more tips, tricks, articles, videos and podcasts just like this one in the bio of this podcast. And most importantly, stay tuned for future episodes.
This recording contains information from sources believed to be reliable, but no guarantee, warranty or representation express or implied is given to its accuracy. Howard Wright does not undertake any obligation to update or revise any future statements. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future results. Investments can go down as well as up, and actual results could differ materially from those anticipated. This recording is for the information purposes only and has no regard to the specific investment objectives or financial situation of any individual. The information contained in this recording is not intended to constitute and should not be construed as investment or financial advice. Appropriate personalised advice should always be taken before entering into any transactions. No responsibility can be accepted for any loss arising from action taken or refrain from being taken based on this publication. Howard Wright is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.